Hey everyone, how's it going? So for my project, I wrote three programs. This first one was a server to listen on my host machine for incoming UDP packets from the Raspberry Pi. It took JSON data from those packets and dumped it into an InfluxDB instance that is later on uh, read from by a Grafana dashboard. This second script is what ran on the Raspberry Pi. I used the SMBus library and an open source GPS script that I used earlier in the semester. And what it's doing is it's setting up two threads, one for GPS and one for IMU data. So this is the GPS one. But as you can see, here's the IMU class. So that's reading the data over I2C and pulling in 6 bytes because I'm sending three 16-bit integers over representing roll, pitch, and yaw, which are also signed. And I made use of the C-types library to interpret them correctly and whatnot. And then you can see there's the JSON method to export that data. And so what I do is I start those two threads in the background and then basically just sleep in a while loop and submit the data over UDP. And finally, here's my Arduino code. It's more or less a port of the tutorial that was on Blackboard. But as you can see there, I'm writing my IMU data and casting it as a byte array. And then here's my main loop that's updating every 100 milliseconds and grabbing data from the IMU sensor. And so now you can see that I'm SSH'd in the Raspberry Pi. And just checking that GPS data is working, and it is. Next, I am going to check and see if the webcam is on by grepping for the motion service that should be running. And because it's not, I'm going to start it with the same commands that we used earlier in the semester to get that going so that I can access it over my local network. Now with that set up, you can see that it's actually able to stream into my Grafana dashboard, which I thought was pretty cool. I made use of an open source plugin to do that, but you basically just dump in the URL and it's ready to go. So here I'm starting the script, and you can see I'm reading roll, pitch, and yaw on the left and GPS data is simultaneously, and on the right is my host machine where that data is coming in. And in the top left, you can see there's my drone, and here's a live footage of it flying and the webcam coming in on the dashboard, as well as all the telemetry data at the same time. But that is it. Thanks, and have a good one. Bye.